Hello everyone, welcome to Split View.
How's it going?
Can I fucking help you?
How's it going?
Can I help you? You
Yeah,
interrupting me introing?
You can help me by introducing me finally.
Okay, this is fucking... I almost said Tom for a second. This is Jordy.
Hi, my name's Jordy, the most important person sitting in this room. And the other least important person sitting in this room is...
Is Jordy.
Yeah, it is. Alright, Tom's also with me here.
Okay.
Tom's weak.
What? Oh, I thought you were calling me weak. I was like, fuck you, dude.
Tom's immune system is weak at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Because he has the Bud Light virus.
I actually do have a flu, though. Like, so...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I wasn't joking. It is factual.
Yeah, so I'm kind of weak, though, so that if I were to come in contact with Asian people, then I could get sick.
Oh,
so...
that's a cool thing that you should cut out.
Yeah. Nah.
Okay, all right.
No, well, we're not being serious, obviously. There's did you hear about the Woolies kind of story recently?
No.
So, some awesome Woolies employees, who I'm not affiliated with at all, they kicked out some Asian people from their store because them dirty Asians have that coronavirus. Man, we can't have those people in our store. And then they celebrated it afterwards.
Your store?
Not my store. No, fuck. No one's going to do that in my store.
What the hell?
I just saw that pop up on my phone. I was like, that's cool. That's a great thing that people did.
It's really like... This is funny that you say this as well, because I have another friend of mine who... He works in a bank. And do you know what golden staff is?
No.
I didn't either, but like he mentioned it's some highly like infectious...
Oh, staph infection. Yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about...
So listen to this, right? They walk into his branch. He wasn't there. He was like off having lunch or something. And they walk into his branch and they like fully go through the transaction. They haven't mentioned anything, right? And they go to the end and they say, oh, by the way, I should probably let you know, we both have golden staph, which is highly infectious for like anything that you touch, right? And then it was like a girl and a guy, like a couple, and the guy pipes up and says, yeah, check out this hole in my leg from it.
What?
And I was like, what the fuck, hearing about this? And then they had to like...
This is going to happen to you, look at it.
Yeah, like, this is like... How do you be that fucking stupid to show... Like, you clearly know that it's infectious.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't think to say it at the start, or, you know, maybe don't leave your fucking house if you have this, you actual
Jordy,
fucking
they need
idiot.
their bank transactions. What are they going to do? Tell the person so that they can refuse service? They need the transaction to be done.
Yeah. My friend did say that they were, let's just say, somewhat lower on the intellectual ladder.
Okay, sure.
And that you could tell that. So,
and
you could see why they showed up and why they contracted it in the first place, I guess.
Okay, cool. And this friend's name is Liam Randall, right?
No, it's not. It's Zach.
Okay, I know. I'm just trying to pin the fucking blame on another person.
Okay.
So, speaking of the coronavirus, actually, last time I mentioned something about, like, a conspiracy, right? Mm-hmm. I said, hey, you know, this coronavirus kind of appeared next to one of Wuhan's only level 4 biolabs. Mm-hmm. That's a conspiracy, isn't it?
Was it not a conspiracy anymore?
Well, it is, though, because that's me. Well, not me. Someone else mentioned it first. That's someone else saying, like, hey, maybe the government did this. And I talked about it being possibly used as, like, an assassination thing, you know?
Yeah.
So...
You were right.
No, I wasn't right. I don't know. I don't think we can find out. So this podcast, we're going to talk about conspiracies.
Oh.
And I think we've somewhat talked about conspiracies before, but this one's solely focused on conspiracies.
Okay, you've got like a big fat list of
I do, yes,
dude.
I do. Look at this list of headings and topics and all that.
You are quite literally like redeeming all my shit episodes that I've been doing, dude. Like,
okay,
this is a fucking another good one. All right, hit me with them.
So the first one, I want to ask you something, Jordy.
Okay. Was
9/11 an inside job?
Yes.
Why?
No, actually, I mean, meme answer, yes.
I genuinely want to hear your opinions.
No.
Why don't you think so?
I'm trying to think of why it would be beneficial for the American government at the time to do it to themselves. Like, why?
Do you not know the big reason behind it?
Not particularly. I know, the fucking George Bush did 9/11 meme, and that's the extent of it. Like,
where was Barack Obama on the day of 9/11? Why wasn't he in the White House,
Well, he
Jordy?
was in the plane, dude.
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah. I mean, there's the whole thing with, people saying there was, remote explosives that went off when the plane
Explosions at the base of the tower, Jordy.
Yeah, exactly.
I gosh darn seen that with my own goddamn eyes.
You know what? The most, fucked up thing that I remember from, because of course I was too young We both were. And
Yeah, like
01
3, 2.
to yeah.
What do you,
Was it?
what, do you not know how old you are?
No, in 01 is when it happened. 2001.
I don't know if you know this, Jordy, but the gap between 98 and 01 is 3 years.
Yes, I wasn't. I was saying in 2001 is when it happened.
Okay, cool.
You
Yeah,
fucking idiot. What are you talking about,
I
dude?
thought you were saying you were 1
You
years
gotta
old
lay
in
off the
2001.
fucking wacky tobacco, dude.
I thought you said you were too young, and then you said the number 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was too young
Okay,
to remember it.
All right,
Anyway,
all right. I'm sorry, Jordy. I'm sorry about
I
this
fucking
conflict.
forgive you.
Okay.
I remember like seeing because I was interested in morbid shit even as a kid, right? I mean, like
That's confessing to murdering
That's why
people?
I'm studying what I'm studying now, criminology and fucking criminal psychology and shit, right? And so I was looking into it, and there's just the one thing that's always fucking stuck with me for like 10 years. Have you seen that video of the guy who like falls out of like one of the top
with the
stories?
phone call and that?
Yeah,
That's
like
fucked
it's fucking hard to
I couldn't
watch.
watch the whole video.
Me
I couldn't.
neither, because I was afraid I would see what happened when he hit the fucking ground. I didn't want to like what.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like that's basically the one thing I've taken from it. I know how serious it is, and like it's. I mean, that being said, I'm all for people joking about literally anything, right? Like I don't think there's anything you shouldn't be able to make a joke of.
Yeah, I
if
think
you've got reasonable time between it. Like if your fucking parents died and the next day someone says, "Haha, what are you fucking Batman?"
with the South Park equation.
Yeah. Like it's
Hey, just finally funny again.
like you gotta like pick your battles at least. Like, but I don't think there's anything you can't joke about. But
I think it's always prudent to like make light of issues, to get some comedy out of it, just make you feel better, I guess. Not,
it's
like don't laugh in like affected people's faces.
yeah,
but-
exactly. It's just like you just make a light joke of it. It becomes easier for everyone, including yourself and the people around you, to deal with it.
Exactly.
It's not as heavy as a topic.
So Jordy, you said that you don't think 9/11 is an inside joke.
I don't see the game, but I feel like you're about to tell me.
Well, I am, yeah. So the most like kind of prominent theory, I guess, is it's something called a false flag operation. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
So at the time, I guess even now, like America wants oil, right?
Yeah.
They want that gosh
They
darn
always do,
that
man.
black gold, man.
Yeah.
They want that sticky
black gold.
resin.
Yeah.
They want to go and pillage whatever the fuck
Those
they can
dead
to get that.
dinosaurs, dude.
So whatever country, insert country here, has oil, right?
Yep.
And they want that oil. So they want to be able to get into that country and extract that oil, extract resources, take control, right? So what they do, right? They create a fake strike. They say like, "Oh, holy shit! Insert country bombed us. We must declare war with them. Invade their country."
I see.
So
those types of Middle Eastern countries are notorious for having lots of oil.
yeah, they're
So they are
they're
fucking
just full
gold
of
mines.
terrorists, Jordy. They're just full of terrorists. Of
That's-
course they're gonna bomb us. Of course they are.
Oh, man. I know what you mean.
Yeah, like,
it's
so easy
it's
to
an easy it's low hanging fruit.
It's an easy cover. Like
yeah.
no one's gonna. Well, people did question it, but no, like most people aren't gonna question. Be like, "Oh yeah, of course they bombed us. Yeah, of course we should like declare war with them."
Man,
So that's what like the most prominent theory, and I honestly do believe that because I don't think America's the best place in the world. I think it's one of the worst.
I think
to be
we've
honest.
made our views on the place a little clear at this point. But look, now that you've explained it that way, again, sometimes I need another person's like view to sort of understand it. Like it's
It's a good thing we
split
make
view?
a podcast called
I
Split
said
View,
it and
Jordy.
realized, it's possible. It's entirely possible. I think you could be right. I think there's a good chance that it was just a real freak accident, and there's a good chance that they could have done it themselves.
Freak accidents. Oh shit! I accidentally hijacked a plane and crashed it into the door.
You know what I mean.
Oh
like,
shit! I accidentally did it twice.
Oh shit! I set off remote explosives from the ground floor, dude.
Yeah. So I don't 100% believe it was like an American cover, but there is some like, it's possible.
Yeah, there's room for doubt.
Considering what country America is, like, because after that, right, George Bush, he was in office, obviously, and
Getting
like
the top, getting the dome in his
what?
in his office. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. I don't think that was him, but whatever.
That was him.
No, it wasn't.
It was George Bush, wasn't it? He was getting the fucking
No,
dome.
he was
getting his knob wobbled in the fucking Oval Office.
I think
dude.
Marilyn Monroe was dead by then, so because that was her like, that's
No, it wasn't. Was it?
It was.
Oh man, the amount of people that are going to be angry and tell me about this.
It's
shit
almost
after
like
it
we're
comes
not
out.
American.
Yeah.
Okay, so, so I believe that is like kind of. This is the weird part, though, right? So, someone crashes into the World Trade Center, right, twice.
Yeah.
How do you know who did it? How do you begin to figure out who was piloting that, right? Who did that? There's billions of terrorists. Not billions, but millions.
Well, see, I would say.
I do have the answer, but I really want to.
Yeah, upon thinking about it, my first thought was, well, you would just check who was piloting the plane. But if you hit the fucking building, there's literally no way they would still be sitting in that seat.
The thing, one of them was a commercial plane, I think. I think maybe both. The third one that crashed in the Pentagon, maybe it wasn't a commercial plane.
That one never made it, didn't it? It
did.
It just missed or something?
No, it did, but there's no pictures of it at all.
Ah.
None. So, even though the Pentagon is covered in cameras, but whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They lost
Another
the data.
episode.
Yeah. So, these commercial planes, right? They got hijacked. So it wasn't the pilots. It wasn't that one dude suiciding with his fucking plane.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about that one, but so someone in like the passengers took over the plane, right, with a box cutter.
Yeah.
That's why box cutters are like a big meme surrounding 9/11.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
How do you figure who did that, right? Probably get the manifest list, see who it is. Probably using a cover name and all that. Do you want to know how they found out who was piloting the plane very quickly after it happened?
The black box or something?
No.
No?
They went atop the rubble and saw a perfectly intact passport on the ground.
What?
I'm not kidding.
What the?
A firefighter found a perfectly unburnt, untouched passport just laying on the ground of the dude who's been suspected to be a terrorist.
How the fuck? How?
Jordy, are you crazy? Are you conspiracy theorist or something? Why are you doubting this dude?
Why are you objectifying against the clear evidence here,
A god-loving firefighter found the gosh darn terrorist's passport just on the ground in the rubble. Not burnt or anything, even though the plane fucking exploded into the tower.
Yeah.
How would that even happen?
That does add a little extra layer to it, doesn't it?
What?
You can't. Well, obviously you can't. We know that.
What the fuck?
Even if a plane crashed and skipped the crashing into a building and just crashed into the fucking ground, there's no way. Crashing into anything causes fire, causes big bang.
This is the thing, Jordy.
Right?
The plane was so fucking hot and burnt so hot it melted steel. And you're telling me this fucking passport landed on the ground completely unburnt, probably literally open with the fucking...
Yeah, like stamped by terrorist nation.
Yeah. Literally we have this guy on our list, this is the guy, right?
Yeah.
It's like a picture of him with like a scruffy beard and fucking angry face and all that.
He's got those fucking those glasses with a mustache on them and
I was thinking more typical Saudi Arabian terrorist kind of guy, but
Yeah.
that works too.
I just fucking imagine some fat stupid detective who walks up and goes this is the fucking guy.
Yeah.
We've got him.
I was more thinking of a firefighter and his pockets happen to be filled with a shitload of money, but we're not going to question that, so yeah.
That fire truck sounds like it's carrying lots of coins.
And no one knows who this firefighter is. He just happens to find it on the ground and he disappears shortly after. So.
Yeah.
And he has,
funnily enough, he left the force and now he lives in fucking Hollywood Hills.
He has a black suit under his high vis vest that you just can't see.
One guy takes a look at him and you can see it through his thing. He just lifts it up.
FBI written on there somewhere, just slightly under. So.
And over the top, he's written in Sharpie
or a CIA
fireman.
Yeah, fucking taped over his badge.
Yeah,
it had to have happened like that, some just doofus situation. No, this is the guy, right? This is the guy.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's one of the biggest kind of conspiracy theories, right? Which there's credence. There are other ones that are stupider theories, which I'm gonna kind of talk about. But so that Pentagon thing, that was one of my topics. How plane crash in the Pentagon. You've probably never heard of that. Or
I heard that it missed. I knew that there was one that aimed for it, but that it missed.
Oh,
That's
no,
what I heard.
It crashed, Jordy.
Oh, okay.
The Pentagon, obviously a very, very high target in the sky.
Yeah.
Very accessible by planes.
Yeah.
The plane did a complete trench run into it.
Okay.
And then no plane parts anywhere. No camera footage, nothing.
That's because it
didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. I mean, if it was me, right?
Yeah.
And
What, you flying the plane?
No,
Or
no.
you're in the Pentagon?
If I'm in the Pentagon, right?
Yeah.
I'm a high up in the American government. What I want, if someone fucking that easily smashes an entire plane into the most secret building,
It's not a secret.
or like
things happen.
the most
but,
secure, let's say,
Yeah.
building in the fucking country,
yeah.
I would try and cover it up. Would you not?
Yeah, but they didn't cover it up though. They said it happened, but obviously there's no evidence to say it did happen.
They just sort of like left it there because I didn't really know about it, and I imagine quite a few other
Yeah.
people listening won't know about the Pentagon part.
Yeah.
Maybe if you've gone down rabbit holes watching documentaries and stuff, you have. But like,
Okay.
it's like, I wouldn't want them to know about it either. I can see why they would try and cover it up.
No, they didn't cover it up.
No, I
though.
know,
Like,
but like,
yeah.
or at least not mention it when like
They did mention it. That's the crazy part. They said
as
like
much.
they did in every broadcast. It said, "Oh, a plane attacked crashed in the Pentagon." No images, just kind of a picture of the Pentagon
I don't
looking
think they'd
very
even be
intense.
allowed to show pictures of the Pentagon.
They showed random pictures with like rubble on the ground, but there's no damage to the actual Pentagon. It's really odd.
Because they like, think about it. A highly secure building you wouldn't really be able to show pictures of anyway. It's like
You
how
can show
Area
pictures
50...
of the outside, Jordy. You
yeah,
can see it on Google Earth.
I don't know, but like Area 51 is fucking blurred
There's a
out
fucking
on Google
Taco
Images.
Bell or like a McDonald's in the center of the Pentagon.
Is there really?
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
think it's a Taco Bell
How do you
or
get a
McDonald's.
job there?
I think it's actually staffed by like high security personnel. So
Wow.
yeah, and
That's
everyone
funny.
visits it. So leading into this conspiracy thing, you know, the whole jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams things. Do you know what one of the like kind of excuses or like solutions to that would be? Like, obviously the plane can't melt it. How did it crash? You said the explosions at the base of the tower. Do you know the other theory?
No.
Thermite. So
Ah.
some people visited the center before it crashed. You know, both buildings. They just happened to be maintenance workers. They looked very suspicious. They were going along planting shit, but they reckon
Rhododendrons. They were planting
what?
snake plants. Lovely,
Okay,
lovely
sure.
string of hearts. I know all these plant names because of my
Okay.
girlfriend. She's
Okay.
one of those plant people, so I know a few
Okay.
plant names.
She's a biological life form made out of plants.
A botanist.
Okay, botanist, Johnny.
A botanist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the theories is like thermite. You know, thermite charges were placed on the building and detonated, or started shortly before the planes crashed. So that when it did crash, it was compromised enough. And there are some YouTube videos you can watch of people recreating like kind of thermite charges on like mock steel.
On the the memorial part of the trade center, going around pretending to plant it
not
there.
base zero. No. Some dude built like steel scaffolding in his backyard, planted charges, and it looked just like the video, even though like pyrotechnics kind of all look the same, but whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, like there's a lot of conspiracy surrounding that. So I'm gonna kind of move on because we're approaching like 20 minutes or so.
Wow, okay.
Time fucking flies, Jordy.
Yeah, dude.
So actually, what I wanted to mention before, have you rewatched the broadcast or anything of 9/11?
No,
you watched
not in
them
a
at all?
while. It's been. I should, to be honest. Like, it's something that I should know about. Like, even though it didn't happen in my country, it's like an important thing
It's
to
history,
know
I
about.
guess.
It is. Yeah.
It's just kind of crazy watching them and seeing people not know how to react. Because
Well, how can you know how to react? That was the first time anything like that
Yeah.
ever really happened. Like,
I remember like one of the first things like that they said in the broadcast, like someone called and said like, oh, you know, something just crashed in, like what, like a light airplane, like a Cessna or something, a little like 4-seater, and like no, a full plane. They're like, okay, sure, yeah, whatever.
yeah. Hang up now.
And
Go on.
then obviously they happened in like 5 minutes in between or something, and maybe not. I don't remember what time they happened in between, but like they were live broadcasting the fucking towers.
Yeah.
And then another fucking plane crashes in. Like people saw that on
Yeah.
TV. Like millions, if not a billion people saw that.
Well, it was it was one of the most viewed current events in history.
Yeah, because
Of course.
it was one of the rare cases where cameras can actually be pointed at it, because it's two separate events, you know, like the first tower. No, there's actually 2 pieces of footage of the first tower, and that's it.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 pieces of documented footage. One is actually a documentary about firefighters going around and checking like New York, like their daily routine.
Yeah.
And they hear a noise and they point up and then a fucking plane crashes. That is an insane piece of footage.
Yeah,
one of the only pieces of footage of the first plane crashing.
that's ridiculous.
The second piece of footage, I think it was either a webcam or something. I can't remember. Like, that one's lesser known. That one only came out recently. I think they sold that for like millions of dollars or something.
Jeez.
But yeah, it's crazy watching it. People just like news reporters just freaking out, like almost crying, just not knowing how to react. Like, just completely interrupts everything, and then like they're trying to like hush it, like say like, oh, you know, something happened. Like, not conspiracy wise, they just don't know whether they should be reporting, because I think recently kind of the ban on live broadcasts of terrorism happened, because there was one incident where someone was like, I think it was the Olympics kind of thing. So basically a bunch of like Jewish people, maybe, yeah, I think Jewish people, they were held hostage in the Olympic Village.
Really?
And by terrorists, like 8 terrorists. And the whole operation was a complete failure, because the news got there and they were broadcasting the outside of the building as these like cops were sneaking up and all that, and then the terrorists were just watching it on TV with no delay. So they knew everything that was happening. So now there is a ban on live broadcasting terrorism.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense.
That's kind of why they were acting a bit kind of weird. Like, they didn't want to broadcast it, I guess.
Well, was that before 9/11 though?
Yeah, that was before. That was like 90 something.
Okay.
That was just, it was pretty short after because the reason why they held the Jewish people hostage, because they were like anti-Semites or something,
right,
because of like the World War II. So
right.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna skip. Well, not skip. We're gonna segue off. Or not segue. Fuck. We're gonna
Segue
move
works.
on. Move
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the word.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about a recent kind of conspiracy. MH Flight 370.
Okay.
Do you remember what happened with that? I don't think it's ever been solved, to be honest.
No, it hasn't. I remember it was, where was it going? Thailand?
It was, well, it's Malaysia flight something. I think it was going to Australia or something, maybe?
I remember it had a lot of Australian passengers on it.
It was going from Malaysia to somewhere.
And disappeared over the ocean. They diverted off for some reason. They never explained why. Is that right?
Yeah.
Like they said, oh yeah, we just need to go this way for whatever reason.
Nothing was said
BRB.
at all. It was just
nothing.
It was just normal air traffic control, like, you know, altitude stuff, such and such vector, and then
All of a sudden, just gone.
nothing. The transponder was on for a couple of minutes, which is the GPS transponder. Basically, it's on top of the aircraft. It requires expertise to disable,
Right.
since it's like the backup. So
Sure.
that was disabled. One of the only ways that can happen is either some technician goes up and disables it, like cuts the wires, or the plane fucking explodes,
Right.
or crashes. So,
Yeah.
you know, so there are conspiracies surrounding it. Some of them are fucking strange. Like, these are on Wikipedia for some unknown fucking reason.
Wikipedia, wow.
I don't know. These are just fucking wacky. Like, I don't know who posted this. I didn't check who actually edited
Put
it.
your tinfoil hats on, everyone.
This is tinfoil hat shit. This really is. This is fucking prime tinfoil hat. So the one I heard, this is like the legit quote unquote one.
Yeah.
Is that on the flight there were a bunch of sensor technicians, like electrical engineers specifying in sensor technologies.
Right.
Some of the sensors that the plane has installed.
Yeah.
So they would have the expertise to disable the transponder.
Sure.
What they're going to do with it, who knows? Maybe sell the plane. Maybe it has... Oh, actually, another one. This kind of relates. Maybe the plane had some technology on there. Some deep cover technology.
Oh, they have the new Oculus Rift on there.
Yeah. That would be before Oculus Rift, so, you know.
There you go.
It's a possibility.
The original one, then.
Yeah.
They got Half-Life 3 on there.
No. Half-Life 3 is, Half-Life Alyx is the new Half-Life 3.
Yeah, man.
So, one of these... This isn't a conspiracy, but I guess it's... I saw it on the Wikipedia for the conspiracy, and this one's strange. So I talked about this technology on the plane, right?
Yeah.
So this actually relates to 9/11 as well. So 9/11, plane got hijacked. It was crashed into a building, right?
Yeah.
So Boeing and Honeywell, who make sensors and like alarm systems, they are inventing, or maybe invented, a technology called the Honeywell Boeing Hijack Autopilot.
Okay.
Oh, it's uninterruptible autopilot. So what it is is if a plane gets hijacked, they press a button and then the plane just completely like overrides everything and it flies itself back to base.
Okay.
So the thing about that, you cannot disable it at all. It can be triggered remotely, like over ATC, or like there's a button in the cockpit, and there is no way to stop the plane from like returning back to wherever it took off from. So one of the conspiracies that I'm going to maybe make up is that these sensor people were there to like steal the technology or something.
Well, see, when you said that, my thought was maybe if it was under production that it malfunctioned somehow. And then in that case they were just like, let's just go right down. Yeah,
let's cover this shit up.
Yeah.
Because
I meant like the plane goes, this looks like the right way back, and just goes vertical down.
Well, that's... But after that happens, right, Boeing is obviously going to realize, like, hey, maybe our system caused this, we have...
But would you mention that to anyone?
Exactly, that's why it got covered up. Yeah. So, the thing about this autopilot system, right, if, like, terrorists want to know how to defeat the system, right?
Of course.
So there is an incentive to figure out shit about it. So there is an incentive to steal a plane and reverse engineer it.
Well, yeah.
So I think that somewhat is a credible thing.
That's very possible.
Let's talk about the fucking wacky conspiracy.
All right, yeah. Put your tinfoil hats on, everyone.
This one is just fucking strange. Like, I don't know who came up with this.
The lizard people?
I'm going to read it out.
All right.
So this conspiracy theory, proposes that MH370 was hijacked, stolen, and then used as MH17, the one that the Russians got shot down, because MH370 had HIV researchers, and Russia doesn't want any research being done into HIV vaccines.
So what happened to MH17 then?
No. MH370 was stolen.
And then they flew it
flown over Russia, proposing as MH170 to destroy the evidence of MH370.
Did that happen on the same day?
It happened very shortly after.
I do remember that it was pretty close after.
Yeah.
I mean...
Isn't that fucking wacky?
Like what?
The logistics involved in doing that.
So, it wasn't even going to Russia.
That's
like, it wasn't even going there. It was going back to Australia or Malaysia, right? I can't remember which one. My apologies for not remembering.
The theory was that MH370, because there was two different planes, MH370 and MH17.
Yeah, of course.
So MH17 never existed. It was actually MH370 with like paint on the side to say MH17.
Right. So let's say that's the case, right? If Russia doesn't want HIV researchers into Russia, for a plane that wasn't even going to Russia,
it's more,
they hijacked the plane.
It's more stupid than that. So this is like, I think I explained it wrong. So MH370 had HIV researchers on it.
Yeah.
So they
just didn't want any to exist anywhere.
Exactly. They didn't want anything to exist at all.
So not just in Russia.
Because Russia hates gay people. They don't want anything to do with gay people. So they think it's
natural selection if you get HIV.
Exactly. They want people with HIV to die.
Classy, by the way.
So, so MH370, they hijack that plane. They kill everyone on it. To dispose of the evidence, they create a fake flight some fucking how. I don't know if MH, like... How do they do this?
Why?
Like, Malaysia Airlines is going to be okay. Like, yeah, sure, okay. We'll fake a new fucking flight going over Russia. And then they blow up MH17, destroying the evidence of MH370. Isn't that fucking wild?
Well, surely they can disprove that if... Because you could get to the wreckage of 17, couldn't you? Because that also had Australian people.
There's a cool new paint job on it, dude. They painted off the letters.
Yeah, but if you can go on there and then you can go, oh, okay, so right, these people are on this flight. There's manifest for these things, right?
It got blew up by like a
Russian,
like a SAM missile or something. Surface to air missile,
yeah.
like high explosive kind of shit. So
and theoretically, one could go on there and look at who was on that plane, then look who was on the other one, and go,
fake flight manifest, dude. Fake people, fake grieving widows, fake graves.
Then I would suggest looking at the black box of that
they can
plane.
fake that shit, dude. They can fake that. It's digital.
All because they don't want anyone to play butthole roulette, huh?
Yeah. That is fucking... That's on Wikipedia as well.
That's fucking... Why? Why?
I don't know. I just started laughing once I read that. I was like, what?
What is the gain?
Speaking of laughable conspiracy theories, flat earthers, Jordy.
Oh, yeah.
Jordy
I
is...
wanted to do a whole episode on this, but I was like, I can't dedicate an hour of my life to,
Yeah.
and more to research it.
Jordy, is the earth flat, yes or no?
No.
Okay.
Next subject.
No, I want to talk about...
Did you actually look up why people think that? I
Fuck
would love
no,
to.
dude.
Oh, okay, damn. I was really hoping you did.
Well, I
what is
kind
the
of
theory?
know.
What is the why can they possibly like? I remember learning about like ancient philosophers and things,
Yeah.
pre-Socratic philosophers and shit, who think that the Earth was flat, right? But they didn't fucking know any better.
Because they're stupido.
Exactly, they didn't know. They had literally no way of knowing, right?
Because there's I kind of have like a rationale. And that's kind of when I wanted to talk about it. I didn't want to talk necessarily about flat earthers. I wanted to talk about why they think that and what the nature of conspiracy.
All right.
So, flat earthers, if you don't know, I don't know how you don't know.
Yeah.
It's in the name, you know.
Yeah.
The
Earth
something's
is
in the
flat.
pudding. What is it? The something's in the pudding. What is that saying?
The truth or something.
Truth is in the pudding. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't fucking know. I don't use those types of
So, flat earthers, they believe the Earth is flat.
yeah.
And they go to insane lengths to prove it. There's a whole documentary on Netflix
You
called...
can't prove it, dude. The government has control of the internet. You can't prove it.
That's exactly one of the...
That's the most common one I've seen.
You cannot argue with them because they'll just
Shut
pull
you
out
down with nothing.
They don't shut you down. They just block their ears and go la 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 la.
Well, yeah. They'll shut themselves down, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you try to give them an argument like, oh, here is a sensor reading from something that proves that the Earth is accelerating at this velocity or whatever, and they're like, the government controls that sensor. They control what you see, so they don't control
Yeah.
what you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What?
So
yeah. How do you know this?
yeah, so they in this flat Earth documentary, they bought a $10,000 laser gyroscope. This laser gyroscope, right? I somewhat know how it works, but it shoots a laser from like 2 points, like exactly a meter or something like
Right.
that. And then the laser light is affected somewhat by gravity or like space time, whatever. So
Yeah.
if the light moves slightly, you can tell whether like the actual unit itself has moved.
Right.
And these people, they bought it. They saw that the Earth was rotating at exactly like the speed that it is rotating.
Right.
They're like, oh no, this is wrong. This interference, there's interference from the outside environment, electrostatic chemtrails and kind of shit.
Yeah.
We need to
John
buy
Fog's
a
gay.
$20,000 isolation chamber to put this laser gyroscope in. And that's kind of what they I think they did a Kickstarter or something for it.
Of course they did.
The funny thing is, they're going to get that money.
Oh,
There is a
and more.
huge fucking community for flat earthers, and they are fucking relentless. So yeah, that's kind of the one. There is no way to argue with them. There is no way
Well,
because
they don't hear it.
exactly, like no matter what you tell them, they can fall back on the government is lying to you, you're idiot, or like something.
Like do your research. That's a common one.
Their brains literally cannot accept anything but their own opinion. That's the craziest part.
Yeah.
And you were kind of asking why they believe this. Why do they think the
Or
Earth is
even
flat?
like how? Like how do you become one? Unless you
Yeah,
were like,
exactly. Yeah. So
pushed into it by someone that you know, or like
this
maybe
is
you've grown up with them, so you somewhat trust them, right? You just don't do your own research into like something that massive.
this is kind of what I wanted to kind of discuss about. So we talked about it kind of in the alien episode. So we're just like little insignificant creatures on this planet, right?
Sure.
We're just spontaneous organic life forms. So we are like these little insignificant kind of spontaneous acid-based
Insects.
life. Yeah, exactly. So to think that there's just nothing,
It's a bit naive.
no, it's scary to some people. It's
Yeah.
scary to think that you're just gonna
Oh,
die.
I see. Yeah,
Nothing is
yeah.
going to happen. You're just going to live out your boring old life, do whatever everyone else has done, and that's it.
Well, that's why some people also choose religion and stuff. Like, you need to find some meaning in all
Exactly. And the same thing with religious people, even that you really shouldn't, but you can't convince a religious nut to like
this.
give up
Anyone
their
who
religion.
believes strongly about anything, it's usually because they just they see it and that's their world, and the world is all they know, so they just can't understand how anyone else
That's
would.
fine though. Religious people, they aren't, well, most of them aren't hurting people.
Yeah.
If they're not hurting people, it's fine. Whereas flat earthers, they are impeding scientific progress. They are causing needless debate. They are like a nuisance,
Well, it gives me the feeling that
Most
like
of them are at least.
well, yeah, it's like people are just coming up with shit to argue about shit at this point. That's what I feel
That
like.
kind of is what I was gonna say. Like, they need something to latch onto. They need something more important.
Something to
than
give them a purpose for something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They need something to, like, give them hope. There has to be some higher power. There has to be someone in control of this, because otherwise, this life is just shit.
Exactly.
So this is kind of their, like, crux.
Yeah.
They just can't. And the thing is, once you start doing it, it's kind of like the sunken cost fallacy. Are you seriously gonna, like, if someone's arguing with you though and they have a good point and you realize that's a good point, you're gonna be like, okay, you're right, I've spent 10 years of my life doing pointless shit. Okay, you're right.
The further you go into it, the more you solidify your viewpoint on it.
Like sunken cost fallacy, like they just can't, because they've wasted years and years of their life. So
exactly.
That's all I had for flat earthers. But now I kind of wanted to talk about some lighter conspiracies, some like more
anti-vax.
That's not light conspiracy. That's fucking terrible. That's like
that was the other thing I was thinking as well. Like, if they're not flat earther, they're anti-vax or like extreme fucking vegan and shit, like making up dietary facts about it. And anyway, let's hear them.
Yeah. So these lighter conspiracies, right? Do you know about the New Coke thing?
New Coke?
Yeah.
No.
The back in like 1900s.
Oh, how they had actual Coke in them.
No. So Coke doesn't taste like it did 100 years ago.
Well, fair. Things change.
Because, there's no cocaine. But even then, like, there was something called New Coke at some point.
Sounds somewhat familiar.
Yeah, because this is like a well-known quote-unquote conspiracy. So the story goes is that Coke introduces a new variant of Coke called New Coke. And they're like, this Coke is so great that we're not going to sell regular Coke anymore. This is the only Coke that we have now. People get fucking pissed. They're like, no, I love old Coke. I could not live without old Coke. That is my life. I love Coke.
My life. My blood runs with Coke, dude.
Yeah. And then, so Coke are like, oh, okay, all right, sorry, guys. I guess you do really hate New Coke. Okay, we'll go back to old Coke permanently. And then people are happy. They're great. They're like, yes, I love this Coke. Yes,
yeah.
So the conspiracy goes that New Coke was actually original Coke.
And they were just testing or something.
No, Jordy. So, cane sugar, that shit is good. It's cheap, it's reliable.
Yeah.
Or I might be mixing this up, but old Coke was using an expensive ass sugar that tasted great, but it was fucking expensive, Jordy.
Right.
So what they do, they need to switch to a new sugar. People will notice it though. People will fucking notice.
Right.
Instead of making the new sugar New Coke, they release this product called New Coke. And it's actually the old Coke. People get pissed at the old Coke. They associate that flavor with the one they hate. And then after a while, they introduce old Coke, but it's using the new sugar, the cheaper one.
That's kind of fucking smart, if that's real.
And then people are happy because they're like, yes, fuck yes, I love old Coke. I love this one that says old Coke on the can.
Yeah, I won.
Yeah.
Can I just also say, the fucking people in charge of, like, Coke are just top-notch at naming things. They have no fucking imagination ever. Coke no sugar, Diet Coke,
I mean,
Coca-Cola, Vanilla Coke.
It's
like, come on, use like a little bit of those fucking brain cells.
Self-explanatory, Jordy. You know what it is. So that's one of the lighter ones. Someone asked, like, on Twitter, or maybe I think they asked a spokesman, like, did this happen? Their literal quote was like, "We're not that dumb, but we're not that smart either."
Cool answer.
What?
Cool answer.
Yeah, it's like the most neutral answer. Like, they basically said they didn't do it. Whereas that's like a bigger conspiracy, because people have like cans of old Coke and they say it tastes like fucked up, even though, Coke.
That's because it's fucking old.
Exactly,
now.
Coke ages, sir.
Like,
yeah.
If you've ever fucking decided to drink a can, like maybe you left on your desk for a day out in the warm and then decide to drink it again, it's gonna taste different.
So another conspiracy, a lighter conspiracy. Electric cars, Jordy. We could have had that shit 50 years ago.
Oh, really?
What happened? Have you heard about this?
No, the oil industry would have plummeted.
Exactly, Jordy. Exactly. Have you seen the oil industry now? They're fucking crashing, dude. They're crashing.
I can see that we could have had them 50 years ago, right?
I can't.
Or that someone would have come up with that idea, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
But, like...
Nikola Tesla think I did 100 years ago.
But just think how fucking stupid they would look.
Think how stupid they would perform, Jordy.
All that too. Like, you would get the fucking mileage on electric cars is only like somewhat decent in the past like 5 years.
It's pretty fucking good nowadays, dude.
Exactly, like in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Before that, because I've been a somewhat religious...
Tesla, I think only Tesla has had like the best range.
Tesla made it like a standard.
300,
like,
400 miles.
Yeah. Because I remember I've been watching Top Gear. Ooh, controversial.
I don't like Top Gear.
For I know you don't.
Have you heard that? This is another conspiracy. Sorry to derail you, but they trashed on the Tesla. They faked it draining its battery.
I didn't know about that. No.
No, they hate Tesla, electric cars. Apparently, it's Jeremy Clarkson literally said he hates electric cars.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise. That's true.
But this is the thing, they misleaded their audience. Like, apparently the Tesla rep went and drove over the car, and he literally saw a script open on the desk saying, oh, it looks like the electric car crapped out only like 100 miles out the gate, before he'd even dropped off the car. And then in the actual episode, the car crapped out at 100 miles or whatever. And then Tesla were like, no, fuck you. They remotely pulled the logs off of the car and saw that it was driving in circles for like hours.
Well, that is 100% true. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Because all the Top Gear is scripted.
Fuck you. But that's like, fucked up though.
Well, it is and it isn't. Like,
because they're suppressing electric cars.
They're not a consumer, like, they're not...
Jordy, people...
I know.
You can't tell me people don't.
I know they do, but they also, like... They just make fun of it. That's what they do, right? They just talk shit. And Jeremy Clarkson has made multiple jokes about the fact that, like, if you're not burning coal and raping the world of its resources, what are you doing? Right? It's like, it's just like, he said those words, I'm pretty sure, exactly.
This is the thing,
many times. Like, I'm not surprised by that. And it's not going to stop me watching either. I just find it funny.
They seriously review cars, though. That's the thing. They will bring the new Aston Martin Ferrari. They will give it an honest review. With comedy... They will give it an honest review, how it handles, you know, like how it's tracked, like suspension, whatever the fuck is.
From the point of view of a grease monkey.
But people take that in. They're like, oh yes, this Jeremy Clarkson think this car is good.
Can I just say, people who are heeding the advice of Jeremy Clarkson or Richard Hammond, James May possibly, if you're taking the advice of them, they're not going to buy a Tesla anyway. I can tell you that now.
That's the thing, like it's irresponsible to... intentionally, because
I see what you mean, but if they were like a genuine, if they had no comedy in their show,
people don't know that though. There a large majority of the audience legitimately don't know that Top Gear is scripted. You can't tell me they don't know that.
Like, I mean, they've had so many fucking controversies. Like that's why I don't watch it to heed advice. I just watch it because like the comedy style is what I like.
Yeah, you're fine. Like you know that Teslas are great and all that, but that's the thing, like the general millions of people... I suppose if
like there's like a generation of like older people, let's say, who don't really know the benefits of driving an electric car, and they see that from an old person's perspective, because they're getting up there now, it's going to reinforce it, of course.
It's going to reinforce
and that's all they
hatred.
need. They don't need to hear it from a young person or from anyone else, because they don't know any better. So if they hear it from... Like, I see what you mean.
It's the problem I had with it.
I'm looking at it from someone who knows it's all a big joke, but for people who don't know it's a joke, I see what you mean.
Yeah, that's the problem I see, but... So that's I forgot what the fuck. Oh yeah, electric car suppression. So you were saying you started talking about Top Gear in relation to electric cars being suppressed, and like spiraled off.
Well, I mean, because they made one, right? They made
James Hammond. It wasn't.
They all. I think it was all of them. All three of them made an electric car.
Yeah, it was like the square fucking.
And it looked fucking
box,
shit, right? But they reviewed electric cars.
Hammond.
James Hammond, yeah. They reviewed a bunch of electric cars, and I suppose they could be manufactured results now that you've said it, right?
Yeah.
But they like all had just horrible mileage. Like it was
like a golf cart motor with a car battery.
like they would do challenges and stuff where they had to drive an electric car using just the electric part, and they got like less than 100 miles or something. And this was maybe like 7-8 years ago, right? And I could be making that up too. It's like, it's just they're old episodes, so it makes sense that they're not as good. But if that was the case only 7 years ago, 50 years ago, we would have been getting like 100 meters and needing to like strap
that's what I'm saying,
power station to the back of it.
I am studying electrical engineering. I'm like very much into battery technology. Like I know how to calculate drain on this kind of stuff. I can model an engine's like an electric motor's performance in relation to batteries and all that. And no fucking way we would have electric cars 50 years ago. No fucking way.
But I mean, like, the idea could have been there for sure. I mean, like, Leonardo da Vinci was trying to fucking fly.
Yeah,
back,
the idea was
there.
there.
Like,
but
Yeah, no, that's that one. I think we can. The factual resource that we are, we can bona fide in fact that is a fake conspiracy.
Yeah,
we've solved it.
There's just no way. Like battery, I guess you can make the case that battery technology would have progressed faster, but even then, like we're still inventing new battery technology.
Imagine fucking like electric tanks.
I think that's a thing.
Well, in World War One or Two or something, like
I think
we can hear them coming. Just fucking silent. Yeah.
That one like whirring that Teslas make.
Yeah.
But I've
Okay.
Yeah.
I need. This reminds me actually. I went and I saw 1917 yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that movie?
No.
It is fucking incredible.
What is it about?
I can safely say right now there is not going to be a better movie than that coming out this year. I can tell you right now. It is fucking incredible. Like the way they filmed it, the entire movie is one shot.
What is it though? Like I haven't heard about it.
It's a World War One movie.
Oh, is that? Oh no, it's not the colorized one, is it? No.
It's colorized. It's I
mean, like
yeah. It's you might have seen behind the scenes on Reddit because that's how I figured out about the movie. It's obviously not all one big shot, but like the way it's filmed,
there are hidden takes and shit.
There are hidden takes,
shot,
but the entire
cuts,
thing takes place in one day, and the movie is 2 hours long, and it doesn't stop the whole time. Like. Like there's one part where the main I'm trying not to spoil anything because like you need to watch this movie, right?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty intrigued.
Like it is fucking incredible the way they did it. It's like it's an art piece, and like it's so rare that I watch a movie now and once the credits come up I just sit there and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I cried at the end. I genuinely cried. It made me cry. Like that never happens to me in a movie. Like it is art. It is I cannot hype it up.
It literally
enough.
is art, Jordy.
Well, I know, but like it is good, pure. Like it is just fucking fantastically done.
Who do you know who directs it?
Someone Sam Menendez, I think. He's hasn't made anything before, as far as I'm aware. But it was like his grandfather or someone told him the story directly of what happened, and then he decided to put it into a movie, and it is. Like the whole I could classify it as a horror movie. I could classify it as like
a thriller.
The thriller. I could like so many things I could put into it. It is just fucking incredible. You just everyone out there, if you take something away from this episode, go and fucking watch that movie.
Yeah, I do want to see that actually
because it isn't like you may not like war movies, right? Understandable. Like they're heavy and some people don't care about the history and whatever. But like it is a good fucking movie. The way it is done is fuck. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. I could keep talking about this for a whole fucking...
I do want to hear that.
It is just all one, not seamless, because you can tell where they would cut it if they did.
Yeah.
But the way I'm seeing it, like, it is very possible that they could have done it all in one shot. The rehearsals and stuff would be insane to do that. The cost
would be insane. Can you imagine fucking up that 2-hour take?
Well, yeah, exactly. That, and also, I was just thinking hard drive space. Like how can how the fuck can you film for 2 hours straight, like and then not offload it somewhere?
A red camera can only shoot for like half an hour continuous or something.
They would have to, I realize they would have to be cuts, right? But if just look up, even if you don't want to watch the movie, I saw it as a behind the scenes on Reddit or YouTube or something. So behind the scenes, like 1917 one shot take or something. It is just like. Man, it's like I can't explain how fucking good it is.
Can you imagine trying to edit that? How would you even divvy up the cuts? Like, how would you do that? I'm guessing like takes would be half an hour long. So, can you imagine importing like a 50 terabyte file into your like timeline?
Fuck, that would be that. You'd be sitting there for a week, like waiting for that. But like, I just imagined them putting the movie together, and in like the timeline, there's 8 clips for the whole movie, like. Like, that would be so fucking funny to think about.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
And the whole time I was just, like, intrigued. And I want to watch it again because I was watching it the first time, like, where are they cutting? How is, like, where are the rails? How are they doing this? What's going on?
Oh, I didn't even think, how are they hiding everything?
Exactly. It's fucking incredible. Like, it is, if you like film, watch it. If you like a good story, watch it. If you like a good, like, even a good scare every now and then, watch it. Like, it is truly, like, how it would have felt to be there. It's so like it feels like a 9-hour movie because that's how it would have felt. Like there was no stops. You see the shit. It's raw. Like it's great. I need to shut up now because I will keep going.
Okay,
but like
I do want to see that now, actually.
Yeah.
So we're at 15 minutes, so I feel like a good wrapping up point would be talking about some conspiracies that are actually true.
Oh, okay.
Will turn out to be
All right.
true.
All right.
I have one in here that's not true, but whatever.
Okay.
So, what is a conspiracy you can think about that happened recently that is true?
Ooh.
There should be a pretty prominent one popping into your head, but it's okay.
It's not. Tell me.
Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself.
Of course. Right. Yeah.
That is true. No fucking doubt that's true.
No. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the circumstances and everything is just a little too convenient.
Yeah.
And
autopsy photos didn't come out till like months and months and months later. There's weird holes in his arms that aren't consistent with draining blood and all that. Like,
yeah, like it's
apparently his I think he hanged himself, right? Yeah.
Well,
his noose bone was like down here, like down at his clavicle bone or his sternum, whereas it should be up at his jaw because he's falling. So
if it's
someone fucked that up. Yeah, someone fucked that up. Just think about it. Like, how would it be here?
It can't be.
It would have to go up because of gravity.
Yeah.
So,
for it to actually work, otherwise he just has a bit of cloth around his neck.
How do you fuck that up?
Like, I don't know.
So yeah, that's like some like guards have coming out as like quit or like suddenly been in wealth
have lots of money.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a bunch of conspiracies. That is true though. Undoubtedly, that is true. No doubt in my mind.
It's just one of those things. Like, sometimes you just know what happened, and the high ups in the government and shit, they know what happened. They know you know.
Yeah.
But you just agree to disagree. And the fact that they just say, no, nothing happened. It's all good here. He just killed himself. It's fine. We know. They know.
Yeah.
Like, what else can we do at this point, right? Like, it's just... It's almost fact. We can never have that 0.1% to, like, confirm it. But it's you know...
So another one... I don't know why I have this in here, but cancer vaccine suppression.
I've heard by a lot of people that, like, they've got vaccines for it.
The thing about it is that there are so many types of cancers, there are so many responses your immune system can have that someone can make a vaccine for a like group of cancer, but it doesn't pass FDA trials because it kills them in like a month or something. Or it doesn't respond well, or it just takes ages to go through certification.
Well, that, and it's like person specific as well. Like, it could be extremely beneficial to one and fucking kill someone else.
It could only work on like a handful of people with like certain like antibodies in their blood or something. Yeah, exactly. So it's the thing, like, there are cancer vaccines and they are being taken away from the public because they're still going through trials.
Yeah.
They're still going through like FDA certification. So
is there a chance that they could suppress it for monetary needs?
I don't see how that's possible, because we talked about in the Alien episode that if there is some sort of like drug that you can manufacture, it's always going to get out no matter what.
But legally, most people will be trying to do it legally.
You can buy lab equipment like online pretty easily. Like,
sure, but no one's really going to do that. Like, if you, like, I suppose if you're desperate enough, you would. But like, if it was me, I wouldn't even have the idea to try and do it myself, right? I would think that's a little bit out of my league.
People can manufacture like drugs and that shit like under the table. So
that's true.
There are like, I can imagine gangs setting up like cancer fucking vaccine, like selling like, hey, you want a hit, bro? And they just have like a needle labeled cure for cancer.
I don't think it would be, do you want a hit, bro? It would be like...
Well, it's the kind of like comedy part of like, instead of do you want a hit of like, do you want a hit of this H-man? It's like, do you want a hit of this VC or CV cancer vaccine?
What they would do... Because a lot of the times, like, the reason why they sell the drugs is to make money, right?
Yeah.
They could make a lot of money off of that and also be doing something good in a way. So it's actually not even a bad idea. But like, anyway,
that would have happened if there was a universal cancer vaccine there. Like, you know what I mean?
100%. Like, I just don't think,
because there are mega labs like Breaking Bad level shit. There are like hidden labs with actual top quality lab equipment to do this shit.
Yeah.
You know,
well, hopefully someone's doing it and doing it properly.
Another conspiracy kind of thing I have in here is I have RFID chips. I guess I put it in the wrong section, but like a while ago, people were like, oh, the government's implanting chips in people now.
Oh yeah,
there's chips in every product you buy.
Yeah. And
it's true. Like, the government isn't inserting chips into people's bodies. I am. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that kind of turned out to be true. Like, I do exist in a group of people that have chips in their hands. So I reckon it's pretty cool.
I don't see how you can like believe that they're implanting chips, and then when you go and you check with like
You can
fact,
feel it. I
like,
can literally
yeah,
feel
I'm
the
sure
chip
you
in my
can.
hand.
Like it's like
yeah,
it's in your head, dude. The chips.
yeah, that's
like,
the real.
It's like
that's
you can't feel that
tinfoil
one.
hat, dude. Tinfoil
Yeah,
hat.
yeah,
Even
yeah.
though tinfoil hats multiply
Even though
signals.
you would wouldn't you go off if you went through a fucking
Me?
airport security or something
Yeah.
if you had an RFID in your No?
I'm going for my my specialist for my foot, and I have to bring in a document of a medical paper showing that my chips are okay in MRIs because they won't let me in an MRI without it.
Wow.
So people think that like I'm perfectly fine. Like there was literally no effect on my life at all. I can go in an X-ray, I can go in a CT, I can have an ultrasound, I can have an MRI. I won't trigger metal detectors or nothing.
Well, there you go.
Like,
Maybe
it's
they are in
perfectly
your head
safe.
then.
Yeah, I'd want to fucking use them though.
Imagine if you had it in your head, how hard it would be to unlock your door.
Yeah, I'd have to like
Headbutt your fucking door every time.
yeah. That seems like a pretty good wrapping up point.
Yeah.
57 minutes, almost exactly an hour.
Wow, that'll be our longest episode ever.
I think so. Yeah. Well, when I cut out all the things that you don't know.
Well,
about.
that's true, yeah. Tom's still a bit sick, so there's a few
Yeah.
things which had to be cut out of this one.
Alrighty.
Anyway, thank you all for listening. Tune in next week, and we'll see you then.
Okay. Bye.